Vaishali Siddhappa and welcome to my channel, which is Complemental Economics. And today's concept, it is about transaction motive and speculative motive and the meaning of liquidity trap. So this is money and banking, one of the chapter topic which I am going to discuss today. So we have three concepts. We have to talk about the meaning of transaction motive and speculative motive and the liquidity trap. What exactly the liquidity trap? So right now, everybody, why usually we need money? Exact previous video of mine, it is a functions of money. So you are well aware right now that why you need money actually. If you are not watching, if you are not watched any of the video of mine, please do watch exact previous video of mine. This you will get these all videos in my playlist as you are aware of. So what is the meaning of transaction motive, speculative motive and liquidity trap? Usually, why we people demand money? We have some reasons why everybody runs behind money. Usually, we classify that into three important reasons why everybody is demanding money. The first most important reason why everybody wants money, that is transaction motive. The second reason, which is not in the board, because the question it is about only transaction motive, speculative motive and the liquidity trap. That particular topic, it is not in the question. The question is not demanding about it. That's the reason why I have skipped it. But I'll mention that is precautionary motive. The second motive, that is a precautionary motive, and the third motive is a speculative motive. There are three motives why each and everybody demands money: transaction motive, precautionary motive, and the speculative motive. So let me tell you what is transaction motive. So the most important reason why every individual demands money is everyday transaction, day-to-day transaction. Every day I want to buy a lot of groceries, household things. I have other expenditures in everyday life. I want to pay the rent, I have to buy the gas, I want to fuel my vehicle, I have to pay my electricity bill. So I have to pay my phone bills, internet bills. So I have to buy a lot of groceries. So this way, to lead my each and everyday life, so I have to spend a lot of money. That is the most important reason why everybody demands money. That motive is called transaction motive. For everyday life to lead, you have to spend money. So that's called transaction motive. So whenever we talk about the transaction motive, so there is always a gap between the receipts and the expenditure. Monthly once, for an example, I am going to receive my income. So you can call it as a salary, wage, whatsoever. Monthly once, I am going to receive my income, which is called as a receipts. On the other side, every day I will be spending. But I will be spending every day. I am receiving income once in a month, but every day I will be spending. To maintain everyday expenditure, I have to hold this income for whole 1 month gap. Till 1 month, after 1 month I will be getting income till that time. So I have to be very much careful maintaining this. So this gap maintaining, so expenditure, so that's called as a transaction motive. The transaction motive what I have, money demands for transaction motive. So we have one of the equation here, a functional relationship between money is demanding for transaction motive is a function of income. There is a functional relationship, it's a money demanding for the transaction motive is a functional relationship between income and money demanding for transaction motive. Why is the income here? So this both are having relationship which is positive between each other. The relationship between the income and a transaction motive, it is positive in nature. Why it is positive? The simple reason, whenever any consumer's income is going to increase. So this is why is nothing but the income of the consumer. If the consumer income is going to increase, every day-to-day life, whatever he needs, he is going to purchase more. So for that reason, if income increases, for the So this way my income increases, my expenditure also going to increase. I need more transaction money. So if my income is less, so definitely my transaction motive is also less. Both the variables are moving in the same direction. So the relationship between MDT, which is money demands for transaction motive, and the Y, it is positive. On the other side, we have one more concept, that is speculative motive. Speculative motive means if you are going to invest your money on bonds and security, so that will be called as speculative motive. So any for the security purposes, if you are buying bonds, stocks, anything if you are going to buy, so that will be called as speculative motive. So that can be explained, the relationship between the variables can be explained through one of the functional relationship, that is money demands for speculative motive is a function of rate of interest. M is a money demands for speculative motive is a function of I is rate of interest. So let me tell you what is the relationship between the rate of interest and the speculative motive. The speculative motive and the rate of interest, the relationship is negative. The relationship between it is purely negative. I'll tell you how. If the rate of interest is high, you have money and your other people are ready to pay higher the rate of interest. So you don't want to take a risk on spending, you are investing on stocks and bonds. You feel like, so if I am giving loan, so automatically I will be getting higher the interest rate. Why should I have to bear such a risk by investing on bonds and security? Because the income, your profit is not predictable. So not only profit, sometimes the consequences it might go like you will face a loss also. It's a 50-50 chances. So that, but in the rate of interest, you will definitely, it is fixed and periodically you are going to get the interest rate. If the interest rate is lesser, you think that, oh, the interest rate is really less. So let me take a risk in the bonds. Yes, securities. Bonds, investing on bonds and securities, it is called as a speculative market. Speculative market, that means which is continuously fluctuating. So in this case, interest rate is not fluctuating. If the interest rate is good, I love to give this as a borrowing. I don't want to invest on a bonds. So then if the interest rate is higher, the investment on bonds, it is less. If the interest rate is less, in that case, so people would like to take a risk because they need very good returns. So they'll try to invest on bonds and securities. Both the variables are moving in the opposite direction. So the relationship between the rate of interest and the speculative motive, it is negative. And the third topic, the question demands, that is liquidity trap. What is liquidity trap? So in this is kind of one of the monetary policy where it comes like everything will be reversed. Rate of interest is very less. If the rate of interest is very less, the people save very good money. The people have saved very good money with them. The saving ratio is really very higher. But the interest rate is less. If saving is good, interest rate is lower. At the same time, money supply in the economy, it is more. It is increased. Money supply got increased. That is the reason why people savings also getting increased. In this case, we expected if the saving is increasing, definitely they will invest on any kind of a business, your firm, companies, any production activities. We expected saving is too high, so interest rate is less. So people now will invest on bonds, securities, anything like that. But unfortunately, all the plans got reversed. Even though the interest rate is lower, saving is really good, money supply is very much more. People will wait. They'll think that the bonds and securities are so risky. Let's wait. In future, most probably, the rate of interest will peak, spike. By expecting that, even though interest rate is lesser, they have too much of savings, the saving ratio is very higher, they'll hold the money with themselves, they don't want to invest on any other things, they'll keep the money with them. So this way, whole economy, the liquidity money, it is not in the business, not in the economy, it is holded by the consumers, not investing on anything. If they're not investing, all the production got stopped. Investment is not there, so definitely production got stopped. So this way all the activities will be stopped. So this way the liquidity trap is going to be here where nobody will be having a liquid money, cash in a hand to spend. So this is called liquidity trap. I hope this is one of the 6-mark question. I hope you understood this. Thank you so much. I'll meet you guys with the next one more video. Thank you.